slapped veterans in the face.
You did.
No, we did not. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, before I let Mr. Martin continue, veterans in the town receive a check that is payable out of town funds. And once a month, they receive this check. In order for that check to be issued, it requires 3 signatures from members of the Board of Selectmen in order for that check to be authorized to be issued. This past week, there was difficulty for 3 members of the 5 members here, one of which was on vacation, to actually make it into the office to sign the order that allows the checks to be issued. It is a mistake, just as we spoke of earlier. Sometimes these things happen. It's a horrible thing that the veterans had to wait for their check. But what's happened over the past many years is that we've never been able to change the charter or the bylaws or the rules of regulation, especially when it comes to the state, to have these checks issued on one signature or on the signature of the treasurer. It requires 3 signatures from the members of the Board of Selectmen. And on occasion, every week we come in here to sign those. Every week we come in here to sign those acknowledgements that it's okay and authorizations for those checks to be issued. It's checks for the veterans, it's checks for vendors, it's payroll checks. Every week we come in here. Last week, they were short a signature, and it didn't go out for 1 day until we got someone to come in and sign. It is an honest, it's not even a mistake. It's something that happened, and we feel awful that those veterans had to go without the check to help them out. But in no way, absolutely no way, should anyone think that this was a ploy by the members of the Board of Selectmen to slap our veterans in the face. I take great offense to it. I take offense that you would come up here and address us that way. We understand there was a problem. We understand that there was a problem several months ago.
And you did get a written.
And we're doing what we can as volunteers to come up here and sign those authorizations.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Dennis, I'd rather not get into a big debate.
No,
I wanted to stop him before he went any further. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Was I done?
I don't know.
Well, you just wait a second until I'm done. Because I am furious that this man would come up and accuse us of this.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
You can, Dennis, you can.
I don't believe the purpose of open forum is to argue the sentiments of the public. Don't have to agree with it. I don't think there's anything deliberate on the part of this board, but I think this board collectively, we dropped the ball. We can make a lot of excuses, a lot of explanations. I had to get called to come in. I was in Friday morning at 9:05. There was one member of this board who did due diligence, and that was Jean Landis. And I said a tip of a hat to her at this. My signature was the second. What happened after that is what happened. But the
all right,
just a second. Just a moment. Just a moment, Mr. Chairman.
No, I'm not going to allow this to continue.
Just a moment.
You just stated that you didn't think things like this should happen. You're doing the exact same thing.
Mr. Chairman, I think...
This discussion is over. Discussion is over.
Mr.
Martin, if you wanted to finish after what I've said, you can. Dennis, no, the discussion is over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To suggest that people don't come up here and do what they're supposed to do. These checks, this is twice in several months. This is twice since I've been on the board for 4.5 years, and I come up dedicated to sign. And just because this particular weekend I was on vacation and Gene made it up first and you made it up second, what difference does that make? We are terribly sorry that those checks didn't go out. Do you need more than that? We are sorry that the veterans did not get their check. Do you need more than that from us?
We had one widow who went to
Do you need more than
another
that? Because if
office
you don't,
and
then
said,
that's it. I'm sorry.
what did I do wrong?
I'm going to rule you out of order
They're not
going
going to
forward.
take
I'm going to
care
rule
of
you
my
out
food.
out of order going forward. I am sorry that it's come to this, but this is terrible. This is
It's
absolutely
terrible.
terrible. And I have apologized profusely.
No, you didn't.
We
You
are
just said
sorry.
it
Do you
happens.
need more than that? Do you need more than we are terribly sorry?
Mr.
To
Chairman,
question me on
since-
veterans
since
alone,
this
my entire
board-
life I have spent.
Since this
Telling
board
veterans.
chose to give me
All right,
a
that's it.
written
I would
reprimand
suggest
on
you
previous
finish up.
because I had a check issued that was not signed. When I got a written reprimand from this board telling me it would never happen again. A few months ago, it did happen, and I sent you a little note. This is
Martin, I am not
this is
gonna have a
not the
discussion
first
any longer
time
with you
this has
regardless.
happened. I'm
It's the
not
second time it
arguing, I'm
happened.
not
It's the
discussing.
second time it happened.
No, sir.
It's the second
It's
time
more
it
than the
happened.
second time.
No, it's not.
Yes, sir.
No, it's not.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman,
I really-
let me explain something else, Mr. Chairman. If I can talk without being
Mr.
over.
Mr. Martin, I think we've allowed you to talk enough. You came up here and accused us of something
I
that
did.
is just horrible,
I
absolutely
didn't
horrible.
accuse you of it.
I've apologized on behalf of the board, and I hope that that is sufficient.
Mr. Chairman, almost 20 years ago, I sat in your position. There was a 3-member board at that time. It was standard that one of us might go on vacation, 2 of us might go on vacation, but there was always a commitment that a majority of the board would be there on Tuesday to sign the warrant. That was the rule. The checks went out Thursday, Tuesday night, the warrant was ready, and 2 of us had to be up there to sign it. Now, we now have a 5-member board where you need 3 members. That means 2 people can be on vacation. The other 3 need to take responsibility. When you ran for this office, and you were elected to this office, you put your hand up and you swore that you would fulfill the laws.
Does anyone else have a problem with
It's a
this?
3-minute open
There is.
forum.
It's over. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin.
You're entirely welcome.
Once again, I'm gonna truly, honestly apologize to the veterans and the widows that did not get their check on the day that they were supposed to get them. I am sorry that it happened. We hope that it won't happen again. Things do happen, but it's an antiquated system that requires 3 signatures. And sometimes we have, as volunteers, that have families, that have other commitments, that have careers, sometimes cannot make it up here on that Wednesday to sign the release. We can sometimes not make it up here on the Wednesday. If someone wants to hold me liable or suggest that I'm not doing my job or any other member is because they didn't, then they can do that. But when you do that, you should be very well aware that you're well, you know what, we're not gonna talk about it anymore. I apologize that it's gone on as far as it has and that it got to the point, but, you know, I am not gonna allow people to come up here. I mean, I am as open as possibly can be. And I allow people to come up and have their words. But we are not, as long as I am chairman, we are not going to allow people from the public come up here and chastise and accuse and suggest and create innuendo and controversy. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. We're moving on. Okay. Anyone else for open forum? If you'd like to go to open forum, Dennis, by all means, please go to open forum.
I will for 1 second.
Go ahead. 3 minutes, Dennis.
Dennis Randall, 39 Winter Street. It's odd that I have to stand here to speak to my board, and it's not to chastise anyone. Open forum, I believe, is citizens' access to government. And we may sit here and be the recipients of praise, maybe hear the recipient of questions, or condemnation, or scorn, or disapproval. That when we provide an open forum, we do not provide a script. We shouldn't be providing a script. I do ask that anybody that comes before the selectmen with a complaint, observation, criticism, or whatever, be respectful, mindful of the language, but feel free to express your opinion. We're not beyond criticism. We're not beyond reproach. We too make errors, and I respectfully disagree with the chairman that somehow the caveat that we're volunteers excuses a host of ills. No, we are all in service to the town, whether it be as an appointed person or an elected person. Our commitment is to the town, and the standard is to reach the highest standard humanly possible. Mistakes are sometimes made. Billy Martin has an absolute right to be outraged. I was chagrined because I had to get a call. I wasn't painting myself as near perfect. The only perfect member of this Board of Selectmen is a person I've had a lot of disagreements with, but I have a lot of respect for. That's Gene Landis, who did the due diligence. What I would say,
Oh my God.
3 minutes, and I think I have about 40 seconds
I have
left.
about 40 seconds left.
It's,
Dennis.
mistakes
About 40
can happen, but I believe that we need to keep the integrity of the open forum and allow people to present what is on their mind without interruption or argument. That's it.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And that's all I'll say. Yes, Mr. Floyd.